Live, laugh, long, and prosper. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billie. This is episode 29. Mr. X talks about Star Trek. Before we get to that, hello, I'm Mr. X. You may remember me as a special guest from the episode where I gave Bear Claw Billie a ride to work. Well, they're not here right now. Mr. X is running the show. Let it be known that these are my own words, and I am definitely not reading this from a document that Bear Claw Billie typed up hastily and asked me to read without stopping. If you're new here, Bear Claw Billie is raising money to pay off $3,000 of debt created by unnecessary car repairs. You can donate to the GoFundMe below or become a patron. If you do either of these things, you get to pick a topic for the show. We have a new donor today, Anonymous3. Thank you, Anonymous3. You are the best. Don't forget to send in a topic. By the way, it looks like the patrons have voted on my catchphrase. And even though my personal favorite of the bunch was, "Girl, you know the deal," the poll winner was, "That's a spicy croissant." I, for one, am appalled by each and every one of you for your lack of taste, and I'm not afraid to say it. You might think that's a controversial opinion, but let me correct you. That's a spicy croissant. Okay, let's get to the topic, Star Trek. I am the world's biggest fan of Star Trek. There is no debating this. I eat, sleep, and fart Star Trek. I love every single second of the show, no notes, of course. Star Trek can refer to the wider franchise as a whole, but I'm specifically talking about the one that started it all, which is titled simply Star Trek, but has now come to be known as Star Trek TFS, which stands for Star Trek That First Show. You know, the one, the exploits of Captain Kirk, Ensign Spock, Dr. LaCroix aboard the SS Enterprise. I decided that I would briefly recap and rate every episode of Star Trek TFS today. So put on your space belt and let's do the time warp again. Now, sorry to be an old Sheldon about this, but technically, the first episode of TFS was the unaired pilot, The Cage. This one was totally different from the show we love and know. Instead of Kirk and Spock, there was Captain Spike and Number Wife. They go to a planet with a cage on it and get stuck on it. This episode technically isn't canon, but they do technically recycle part of it for a later two-piece episode called The Menagerie. You'll hear about that later. Wheelchair, beep beep. Okay, alright, episode 1, The Man Trap. So in this one, Spock sees a beer and some Playboy magazines on the ground underneath a big box resting on a stick. When he goes to investigate, somebody pulls the stick away. Oh no, it turns out it was an alien trapping men. Kirk faxes himself downstairs and tells the alien to take a hike. The day is saved. I give this episode 5 stars, like on Star Trek. Alright, episode 2, Charlie X. This is an episode about my dad. He goes out for cigarettes one day and never comes back. But it's okay because Captain Kirk adopts me at the end. Hooray! 5 stars! Episode 3, Where No Man Has Gone Before. The crew goes on a mission to put the toilet seat down. You see, because men don't do that, and, the title's a joke. That's this is funny. A lot of the humor on this show is very gender-based, and, that's because it was made in the 1800s. Anyway, Uhura puts the seat down because, girl, 5 stars. Episode 4, The Naked Time. An alien develops a bomb that makes clothes disappear and points it at the Enterprise. Luckily, Dr. LaCroix invents a pill that makes extra clothes appear and gives one to everyone on the ship. Good thinking and great writing. 5 stars. Episode 5, The Enemy Within. This is the first appearance of the Klingons. Klingons are baby-sized creatures that live in your stomach. Driver Sulu gets one in his tummy after eating some alien sausage, and it demands a ransom of $1 million. Thinking quickly, Captain Kirk asks the space president to get rid of all money. So now, $1 million is nothing. 5 stars. Episode 6, Mud's Women. Some guy named Mud has too many women. This may be the future, but we don't do ethical non-monogamy around these parts. Again, 1800s. Kirk kills all the women but one, solving the dilemma. You rock, Kirk. Good job. 5 stars. Episode 7, What Are Little Girls Made Of? Spock's science fair project is to figure out what little girls are made of. And he does. He wins first place. Dr. LaCroix gets second for a baking soda volcano. 5 stars. Episode 8, Miri. I don't remember this one. 5 stars. Episode 9, Dagger of the Mind. Cadet Chekhov slips in the mess hall and gets a steak knife in his brain. Dr. LaCroix doesn't know what to do. 5 stars. Episode 10, The Corbomite Maneuver. Guest star Ron Howard plays Admiral Corbomite, and he teaches Kirk how to spice things up in the bedroom. This being the 1800s, his advice is to go pray and sleep right away. 5 stars. Episode 11, The Menagerie. This is a two-piecer. Using old footage from the cage, like I mentioned before, we find out that Captain Spike got out of his cage, beep boop, but there was a wheelchair right next to it, and now he's trapped in the wheelchair. Captain Kirk takes him to the fair and helps him roll onto some rides, like a lot of rides. Most of the episode is just them at the fair. Spike really loves the animals. It's nice. 5 stars. Episode 12, The Conscience of the King. Guest star Elvis Presley talks about abortion for 45 minutes. 5 stars. Episode 13, Balance of Terror. Dr. LaCroix and team leader Uhura get on a seesaw, and they can't get off. Master Spock discovers that this seesaw is actually an alien bathroom, so he flushes and they are released. 5 stars. Episode 14, Shore Leave. The whole crew goes to Applebee's and they see a movie. 5 stars. Episode 15, The Galileo 7. Sulu, Uhura, and Chekhov start a band, but they can't find enough members. Dr. LaCroix clones Chekhov 4 times, and the band rockets to #1 with their swinging single, Please Don't Arrest Me for Saying That the Earth Goes Around the Sun. 5 stars. Episode 16, The Squire of Gothos. Guest star John Delancey is an alien who can do literally anything, and the crew is all like, well, fuck this, he can do literally anything, we're absolutely fucked. They fly away very fast, and the character never returns again. 5 stars. Episode 17, Arena. Dr. LaCroix invents a new kind of football, but it doesn't catch on because everyone is enthralled with the football of the future, the XFL. 5 stars. Episode 17, Tomorrow is Yesterday. Imagineer Scotty is carrying a big stack of calendars, and he trips. It takes the crew's days to sort them all out. 5 stars. Episode 19, Court Martial. This is the famous crossover with Night Court, one of my personal favorites, and that also is another popular show from back in the 1800s. Judge Harry T. Stone sentences Spock to 30 days in jail for drunk and disorderly conduct. The episode plays out in real time. 5 stars. Episode 20, The Return of the Archons. Kirk tells the Archons to stay away, and they don't. 5 stars. Episode 21, Space Seed. Sulu's cucumbers are coming in nicely. Kind of a boring one. 2 stars. Episode 22, A Taste of Armageddon. Guest star Ben Affleck puts animal crackers in Kirk's panties. 5 stars. Episode 23, This Side of Paradise. I don't know, something about that Meatloaf song. There's a lot of those. But anyway, 5 stars. Episode 24, The Devil in the Dark. Jonathan Harris guest stars as the literal devil. I know it seems kind of weird to be for the actual devil to appear in Star Trek. You think of something that goofy happened on a Star Trek show, people would not think it's canon. Anyway, the devil hides in Kirk's closet every night and whispers, "Be mean to Spock." Until one night, Spock pulls him out of the closet and beats the fucking shit out of him. 5 stars. Episode 25, Errand of Mercy. It's Kirk's turn to go pick up the Chinese food, but Kirk had a really rough day, so Spock does it instead. 5 stars. Episode 26, The Alternative Factor. Everyone dies. 5 stars. All around. Episode 27, The City on the Edge of Forever. This episode is actually where the term edging comes from. 4.9 stars. Episode 28, Operation Annihilate. Chekhov is a sourpuss about the weekly board night game on the SS Enterprise and takes matters into his own hands. 5 stars. Episode 29, Amok Time. The Space UN orders everyone to turn the clocks back 1 hour, but Kirk has an ace in his hole. He throws away all the clocks. 5 stars. Episode 30, Who Mourns for Adonai. Guest star Dick Clark plays Adonai, a member of an alien species with a very curious biological trait. They can die. 5 stars. Episode 31, The Changeling. Guest star George C. Scott plays a composer who moves into a haunted mansion in Seattle, Washington. Not to be confused with the Deep Space Nine episode Changeling, starring Angelina Jolie as a mother who realizes the boy the police claimed is her missing son is not. 5 stars. Episode 32, Mirror Mirror. Spock got a beard. 5 stars. Episode 33, The Apple. Sulu adds a tree to his garden. Truly riveting. 5 stars. Episode 34, The Doomsday Machine. Admiral Wesley Crusher tries to build a toaster. 5 stars. Episode 35, Cat's Paw. Kirk is horrified to discover that Jellicles can and Jellicles do. 5 stars. Episode 36, I, Mud. Mud's remaining wife left him because he dresses like a horny magician. 5 stars. Episode 37, Metamorphosis. Uhura wakes up one day to discover that she has turned into a person on trial for a crime they are unaware of. 5 stars. Episode 38, Journey to Babel. Guest star Steve Perry learns about a new website for translating languages. They didn't have Google Translate back in the 1800s, so, anyway, 5 stars. Episode 39, Friday's Child. Guest star Rebecca Black sees her friends, Kirk, Spock, and LaCroix, but who will sit in the front seat? 5 stars. Episode 40, The Deadly Years. Turns out one of those calendars Scotty dropped is alive and hungry. 5 stars. Episode 41, Obsession. Chekhov invents a new fragrance. 5 stars. Episode 42, Wolf in the Fold. Guest star Lon Chaney Jr. runs a space laundromat. 5 stars. Episode 43. They never actually made a 43rd episode. It's just this weird continuity error. Just don't ask questions. 5 stars anyway, all around. Episode 44, The Trouble with Tribbles. Everyone knows this one. It's the classic. Anyone who knows anything about Star Trek knows about the really, really beautiful episode where Scotty gets herpes, and I love it. 5 stars. Episode 45, The Gamesters of Triskelion. Look at this fucking gamester. 5 stars. Episode 46, A Piece of the Action. The crew discovers a planet where everybody's an old-timey gangster, and it's all because somebody left a book about gangsters there a while ago. 1 star. Episode 47, The Immunity Syndrome. The whole crew competes on Survivor, a popular reality TV show from the 1800s. 5 stars. Episode 48, A Private Little War. Everyone's genitals come to life and they are very territorial. Dr. LaCroix breaks out those pills that give you too many clothes again to end the bloody conflict. 5 stars. Episode 49, Return to Tomorrow. Scotty, you can just leave those fucking calendars alone, please. 5 stars. Episode 50, Patterns of Force. Guest star George Lucas plays a fashion designer. 5 stars. Episode 51, By Any Other Name. They just randomly changed the title of the show to Lost in Space for 1 episode to see if it would get better ratings. And it did! This is the only time in Star Trek's entire run that it beat Lost in Space in the ratings. Clever. Google it. 5 stars. Episode 52, The Omega Glory. Is this the one where they meet God? Probably. 5 stars. Episode 53, The Ultimate Computer. Master Spock makes a machine that can hold an entire song and it takes only 1 room. 5 stars. Episode 54, Bread and Circuses. What, you think I'm going to tell you they make sandwiches and go see clowns? Yeah? You think I got this whole thing figured out, huh? Or do you think this one is a misdirect and some grandiose action-packed thrill ride where 2 galaxies try to eat each other? You want to do this? You think you got what this takes, huh? Huh? You think you could write this whole shit in an hour? Yeah, okay, it was the clown thing. 5 stars. Episode 55, Assignment Earth. Guest star John Pertwee has a neat pen. 5 stars. Episode 56, Spock's Brain. This is famously the first episode to air after the Sci-Fi Channel announced that they were canceling Star Trek, that first show, and then they changed their minds after enough fans wrote in begging them to save the show, and we're all glad they did, because Spock's Brain is hands down the single greatest episode of Star Trek ever made, the single greatest episode of any sci-fi series ever made. It's revealed in this episode that Spock has a brain. 5 stars. Episode 57, The Enterprise Incident. This episode takes place on the Enterprise. 5 stars. Episode 58, The Paradise Syndrome. Meatloaf again? Yeah, 5 stars. Episode 59, And the Children Shall Lead. Sulu lets his nephews drive, and oh my, you've never seen Kirk fast talk his way out of a hit and run like this. 5 stars. Episode 60, Is there in truth no beauty? No. 5 stars. Episode 61, Spectre of the Gun. Uhura gives a ghost a rifle. Look out, guns are bad. 5 stars. Episode 62, Day of the Dove. Guest star George C. Scott returns as an alien who unwittingly trains a dove to assassinate the space president. Luckily, Dr. LaCroix has an aluminum bat. 5 stars. Episode 63, For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky. Alright, calm down there, Walt Whitman. This one is about big bugs who shit a lot. 5 stars. Episode 64, The Tholian Web. Chekhov wants to buy a baby, but you just can't find that on the regular internet. 5 stars. Episode 65, Plato's Stepchildren. Guest star Barbara Eden plays the philosopher Plato, who is arrested for keeping his kids in a cave. 5 stars. Episode 66, Kill the Jedi. Yes, so good. 3 Star Wars. Episode 67, The Empath. The Enterprise encounters that one friend of yours who is always dominating the conversation at brunch to talk about her struggles, but never actually listens to your problems because she doesn't have to. She just gets you, you know? 5 stars. Episode 68, Alon of Troyes. Star Trek creator Gene Robble fell asleep on his typewriter. 5 stars. Episode 69, Whom Gods Destroy. Nice, bro. Nice. 69 stars. Episode 70, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. Holy fuck, more like Let That Be Your Last Episode, am I right? How many more of these goddamn episodes over there? This show that I love, you know, big battle scene. 5 stars. Episode 71, The Mark of Gideon. Some Christian group gets into graffiti. Next, 5 stars. Episode 72, That Which Survives. Not my bladder. Next, 5 stars. Episode 73, The Lights of Zatar. There are 4 lights of Zatar! And there are 5 stars! Episode 74, Requiem for Methuselah. Ass to ass. Ass to ass! 5 stars. Episode 75, The Way to Eden. The Enterprise should have taken a left at Albuquerque. 5 stars. Episode 76, The Cloud Minders. 60% chance of rain. 5 stars. Episode 77, The Savage Curtain. So that's what's covering the dressing rooms on the Wonder Years. 5 stars. Episode 78, All Our Yesterdays. Scotty, if I swear to God, if you touch one more fucking calendar, I swear to Christ. 5 stars. Episode 79, Turnabout Intruder. Fucking Spock's he's a guy or whatever. 5 stars. So this has been Mr. X's definitive review of Star Trek, that first show. That's a spicy croissant. And as always, set your lasers to fun.